Voter proposed charter change for Just Cause Eviction. Summary. Voters have petitioned for the city to change its charter. This change could allow Winooski City Council to adopt a Just Cause Eviction law. Residents can vote on this item on the town meeting day election on March 7th, 2023. The state would also need to approve the change. Then, City Council would need to decide whether to create a Just Cause Eviction law. This fact sheet gives information on the process and timeline. It also shows the full text of the proposed voter charter change. Visit the website winooskivt.gov/justcause. Call or email with questions 802-655-6410 /justcause@winooskivt.gov. Information on charter changes. A city's charter sets the rules for how the local government is organised and how it can act. Vermont law lets city voters suggest changes to the city charter. If 5% of city voters sign a petition to change the charter, the city has to place the proposed change on its next election ballot. Winooski received a petition signed by 5% of its voters for a charter change that would give Winooski City Council the power to write a law that would provide protections for renters from evictions without just cause. This is the timeline for this charter change and if there is an ordinance. Voters vote on charter change on March the 7th, 2023. If they vote yes, the state looks at a charter change. House, Senate, Governor. This can take months or years. If they vote yes, Winooski City Council votes to move forward or stop. There's no timeline for this. If Winooski City Council votes yes, there will be public input and Winooski City Council votes again. This takes at least 2 months. If they vote yes, Just Cause Eviction is in place in Winooski. Any no vote and Just Cause Eviction would not be in place in Winooski for now. This timeline may also require a second City Council vote to validate the process. Voter proposed charter change that will appear on the 2023 Town Meeting Day ballot. Article 4. Shall the Charter of the City of Winooski, Acts of 2013, NO M-9 as amended, be further amended to give the City Council the power to provide by ordinance protections for residential tenants from evictions without just cause by adopting and adding a new subsection 304B13 to read as follows. 304B13A to provide by ordinance protection for residential tenants as defined in Chapter 137 of Title 9 of the Vermont Statutes annotated from eviction without just cause, where just cause shall include, but is not limited to, 1. A tenant's material breach of a written rental agreement. 2. A tenant's violation of state statutes regulating tenant obligations in residential rental agreements. 3. Non-payment of rent. And 4. A tenant's failure to accept written, reasonable, good faith renewal terms. B. Such ordinance shall exclude from just cause the expiration of a rental agreement as sole grounds for termination of tenancy. In addition to the exemptions in Chapter 137 of Title 9, the ordinance shall exempt from this provision, subject to mitigation provisions, sublets and in-unit rentals, as well as the following properties but not limited to 1. Owner-occupied duplexes and triplexes. 2. Those being withdrawn from the rental market, including properties to be occupied by the owner or an immediate family member as a primary residence. And 3. Those in need of substantial renovations which preclude occupancy. C. Such ordinance shall include provisions that 1. mitigate potential negative impacts on tenants and property owners, including but not limited to requirements of adequate notice and reasonable C. Such ordinance shall include provisions that 1. Mitigate potential negative impacts on tenants and property owners, including but not limited to requirements of adequate notice and reasonable relocation expenses. 2. Provide for a reasonable probationary period after initial occupancy. And 3. Limit unreasonable rent increases to prevent de facto evictions or non-renewals, although this should not be construed to limit rents beyond the purpose of preventing individual evictions. D. The ordinance shall define what is reasonable and adequate notice in defining just cause, and shall require that landlords provide notice of just cause and other legal requirements as part of the rental agreement.